Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the No Name Podcast. This is episode 4, and we're back in the building with myself, J. Juju St. Paul, and who else am I with?
I am the one and only Ish, and that's it.
Well, yo, this is C Stats right here. You know what I mean? Co-creator of the Chronicles of a Hip Hop Legend series. And right now, just sitting in the middle of a snowstorm in New York City. So, I'm glad to be here looking at this while I'm talking to y'all people out there,
True that. But yeah, man, but how you guys been? How's y'all week been? How's everything with you guys?
Shit, man, I'm chilling, man. I had a little experience last Thursday. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. I was in the gym for like an hour, man, and someone took the opportunity, to go steal my coat. Yeah, stole my coat. Had my house keys in it, my car keys in it. So I had to leave my car in the parking lot overnight. You know what I'm saying? I had to take a lift home with no coat.
How was you able to get home without the house keys? Did you have to find a way to open up the window?
Yeah, my brother actually, you know what I'm saying? My brother actually, he got me in, you know what I mean? But, even getting home, I was lucky, you know what I mean? Shout out to, to Lyft and Uber, because this is the first time ever that I had to depend on some outside service, just to get a ride with no coat on. Then I told him, I was like, yo, do me a favor, can you swing around the parking lot, so I can check on my car, because I was scared that these dudes, because they had the alarm or whatever. So I was scared that they were going to come back, go in the car and, take all my stuff and everything else. So, but nobody did that. Then I had to make a police report and, and everything else. But, you know what I mean? And we were just talking about this a little bit. Perception is everything, right? You know what I'm saying? So I just said, I was tight for a little bit, a couple of minutes, and I was like, you know what, man? Whoever needed the coat, man, I hope you fucking move. You know what I'm saying? I hope you out there. I hope it, you're wearing it. Whatever you needed from it, you took it. I hope you protect you in this blizzard right now. Whatever. You know what I mean? Some people won't be able to look at it that way, but you know what I mean? It is what it is, man. So yeah, but the only thing I was tight about, I had to spend like over $200 to get a new key, for my car. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I had to get all these keys made over and everything else. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, but other than that, it was a great week.
Yeah. It wasn't the Avirex jacket, was it? It wasn't the Avirex one. Was it the Avirex?
Nah.
It was an Avirex one?
Nah. It wasn't one of those, man, but it's still messed up.
Yeah, man. A little listeners out there don't even know what we're talking about when we talk about Avirex, man.
I miss AV. I miss we call them AVs. I miss the Avirex generation, man. Them big leather jackets, them Rockawares, the Fat Farms, the Fubu's, the Pele. Boy, what I wouldn't have done for a Pele jacket, man, for real. I still want one. I'm weird, I'll still rock one of them big heavies. Real talk, man. Ain't nothing warmer than them.
Real talk. Those Avirex jackets were warm. And you remember, if you owned the Avirex jacket, chicks thought you were rich.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, but they had to.
Especially if you had the ones with the rhinestones and all that.
Yo.
He's sparkling.
Yes. Yo, Chaz. Have you been to the cockpit, right? Remember those days at the cockpit at the Avirex store in the village?
Yeah. But it was a couple. It was Pele too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Pele, Avirex. I think those are only two that had the crazy prints on the jackets on the butter soft leather.
Yeah, bruh. For real. And I always used to get caught whenever you have a girlfriend. She's like, oh yeah, can I wear your jacket? It's like, yeah, but I want it back because I don't care. I'll walk you to your door if I have to. Because you're never seeing that again. This was way before the current trend of boyfriend, boyfriend hoodies and oversized jackets and that. I mean, we stayed baggy in our stuff, man, for real.
I'll just tell you one story what happened. Like one back in the days, me and my brother and a couple of his friends, we went to this club, and my brother let me wear his Avirex jacket, and so I was hollering at a chick, right? And she's like, and then I allowed her to wear my brother's jacket, and my brother's looking at me like, "What the f are you doing? Why you got that chick wearing my jacket? You better get it off." And I had to play it off, like, but yeah, but like crazy, that was serious, man. That was gold back in the days. Avirex, like having those jackets back in those days, that was like gold, man. Serious. That's real facts right there.
And Peto or whoever represents you, like, look, we don't condone the fact of having to skin cows to make jackets. We're just saying they're fly. I just want to make sure that we ain't out there shooting ourselves in the foot with this.
Yo, Juju, what you been up to, bro?
Well, it's just I think the easiest way to put it, it's been a trying week, I'm not gonna lie, as we all are, especially during this whole COVID situation. Speaking to my therapist as well, it's like he said, like the biggest problems that we're going to have, we are in a pandemic at the moment, but once this pandemic kind of settles down, we're going to have a brand new pandemic, which is going to be the case of mental health. As right now, so many people are going through it. And here in the UK, and I'm deemed extremely vulnerable, we're not advised to go out in any way, kind of shape or form where it can ultimately be avoided. So I think it's just a combination of being stir crazy and not having much to kind of, like look forward to. So we might be like, oh, okay, you know what, it's the weekend. I know this person might be free, take a little journey, maybe train, go across, London, see my peeps in like Newbury, or see my cousin up over in Hounslow. It's just being, I suppose just being in front of people. It's just kind of a combination of things. And I think that's where this week's kind of been a bit trying. I've got a new project that's landed on my lap, but I'm even bugging on that, to be honest with you. At the moment, it's hard to kind of find the inspiration to kind of piece together what I need to do in order to deliver with it. But as we were saying before we started recording, just got to push through. And I know a lot of people and a lot of us are going through this at this particular moment in time. I guess now more than ever, I'm kind of looking forward to at least being allowed, knowing you can go outside. When you're like, I just can't be bothered, and you're fine to do that, rather than just being on, lockdown. I think it's the best way to put it. Other than that, my boy Crisis Macau dropped a new track on the 5th of February, and it's called Shinjitsu. So check it out, Crisis Macau on Spotify. Shinjitsu, dope artist, R&B cross. I'll say hip hop, but he was more of a singer beforehand. So we're gonna have him on the show as well. Coming up soon, we're gonna interview him because he's got a few projects and a good couple things coming this year. And I also designed the cover for Black and Bruised, which you should check out as well. All up on Spotify. But yeah, so that's just me being me, man. What about you, Ish?
Just doing the same old. Just work, and that is not a noun. That's all I've been doing, man. Nothing special, nothing interesting. I know yesterday when I was heading to work, I bust my behind on black ice in front of a lot of people, and they just looked at me. No one even said, "Oh, are you okay? Are you all right?" They was just.
At least anyone laugh. I mean, it's like if someone should have at least giggled.
The one lady, yes, she kind of did like a little bit, but that was about it, man. The only thing I was happy that no one had their phone out, and eventually I find myself on Instagram or on one of those social media sites. So luckily, no one had a phone out. But yeah, that was kind of embarrassing a little bit, but at the same time, it was funny because you know how you initially fall and you're like, damn, that's bad. And then you laugh at yourself like, you know what? That was kind of funny. So, but overall, that was the highlight of my day, man, of my week. Nothing special. And then, we had to deal with the snowstorm. That was Mother Nature telling people to social distance because, I'm a strong believer things happen for a reason, especially when here in the States, the numbers are going high. Was it like every week 3,000 people die from COVID in the United States alone, and then we get hit with this nor'easter, and now we get hit again. Mother Nature, like, you need to listen. If y'all don't listen, you're gonna listen to me.
It's a wise way of looking at it.
Yeah. I mean,
And you know, Mother Nature is a black woman, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's always something going on, man. I mean, you know, I know, you know, everybody's always going through, you know, something, you know what I mean? And this day and time, like, you know, like you said, with all the numbers, you know, spiking and everything else going up. But I just want, you know, I mean, for one thing, I think people should also look at the things that are, you know, the blessings in this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we're all here right now talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to all the people, you know, that are, you know, that are pulling through, still doing what they gotta do, taking care of their loved ones, taking care of everybody around them. You know what I mean? And you know, you gotta look at perception. You know what I mean? Like you can look at things as, you know, everything's falling apart. Or you can look at it as like, yo, man, you know, you got every day to, you know, start over or do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, man, even now, you know, this is a new year, you know, and shout out to all those people that, you know, that are still getting up every day and still pulling through and still doing what they gotta do, you know, amongst all this, you know, mayhem and riffraff and, you know, political mess, you know, every COVID, all that. You know, and you know, and me myself personally, like, you know, I put something on, you know, online the other day, whereas, you know, we're always reminded about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But then once again, you know, we're not reminded on how to take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? On, you know, on certain things to tell ourselves. You know, like it's a lot. Like, you know, mental health is really, really, really important at this time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with that being said, you know, I think everybody should take, I don't care if you take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you know what I mean, even 1 minute, you know what I mean, to just take a breather and to tell yourself that you are important, that you do matter, and that you are here for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Just do that. You know what I'm saying? Just do that for me. You know what I'm saying? Do it for Juju, do it for Ish. You know what I'm saying? I know I do it myself, and I mean, I hope you guys do it too. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we are here for a purpose. You know what I mean? And you know, I just wanted to say that. You know what I'm saying? That I felt like, you know, that was something I could give back. You know what I mean? Something just to say on this snowy day that I sit down, you know, sitting. You know, and I was just telling y'all, I was just out here, you know, playing with my snowmobile. I got my remote right here. You know what I'm saying? So this is how I'm looking at this snowy day right now, you know.
you're going Home Alone 3 edition, which I think nobody even watched Home Alone 3, but I remember from Home Alone 3 that new kid that played that character, he had like a remote control car, I think. Yeah. And so that
I do remember something. I do remember something like that, to be honest. Kevin, that was his name. The character's name was Kevin, wasn't it? It used to be played by Macaulay Culkin. Yeah. So I remember. I think that's where, like with most things, after you go past a certain amount of movies, it really kind of loses its dexterity. Yeah. Except for Aliens, I suppose. Aliens is like Predators is just your kind of regular. Rambo's Rambo, but there's very few that can kind of hold the test of time beyond like two flicks if they're lucky, to be fair.
Facts. And then also talking about perception, Juju, I know you really don't care, you know, because you don't care about American football. You know, you're a soccer guy, you know, in there right now.
I don't even watch. First of all, it's football. So let's get this straight. What you play is American football. So let's keep that straight for the context. It ain't soccer. I don't know what soccer is. I know what football is. Right, football. Yeah, I know what football is, but I'm not big into sports. So you guys can hate me to your whatever's, but I don't pay no attention to any of that stuff. It's bad for your health, if you ask me.
And I agree with that with TV and everything right now. Right now, the big thing in America is the Super Bowl, right? And I posted something on social media. Was it 2 days ago? Because 2 days ago was the birthday of Trayvon Martin. You know, if he was alive, he would turn 26. He would have been 26. And I posted a picture of him as a baby with his dad. And I posted a picture of Patrick Mahomes II, which is the quarterback from the Chiefs, and his dad. And I wrote in the whatchamacallit that this year Trayvon Martin and Patrick Mahomes would be the same age this year. And then I in the bottom I said the tales of two fathers. And going back what you're saying about perception, because Trayvon, he was born in February. Patrick Mahomes was born in September, so it was a 6 month. So Trayvon is 6 months older than Patrick Mahomes, and so what kind of made me bring that to light is how perception plays a key role when it comes to a person of color's name, and then where they live. Because if you put those two pictures again up and see those two pictures without knowing their names, like who would you know who was who in their story? And so I want to put that out to you guys. What do you guys think about that a little bit?
I'd say it's you're definitely right, but the perception, as we've mentioned before, it's just apparent. The black struggle was global. It was, regardless of where you're from. Just be a darker shade of even being in India, and you're already being seen as you're being outcasted, and that doesn't relate to their caste system, because that's something that's completely different. Go to Southern America, go to Brazil, Chile, same places. I mean, you've even got is it Dominicans or Cubans who are out there. It's like, if you're dark, there was one guy that became viral during the whole BLM uplift that happened last year, saying, we hate these black people, if you're black, they're just completely going off on one. But you could tell by his nose, you've got nothing but ninja in you. You got them big white inbreathers, bro. Like, your hair's even got that little piece of curl into it. But to answer the question in a sense of perception, I mean, this is where it kind of gets a bit dicey, and this is where people's sensitivity can kick into play. And the reason why I say it can potentially kick into play is they'll say, well, on one hand, this is, these American football stars, so he's earned his right. He's done what he's done. He's put his body through all of this thing. So why would you compare the two of, say, Trayvon Martin, who still tragically died the way that he did? And then they'll say, well, you'll hear the argument, that's their area, and they've done things to improve their life. Trayvon and his family didn't do anything to do enough to get themselves out of those areas. However, we all know it's systematic, and especially over there in the States. I'm not saying it's people will argue, well, it's not the same in the UK. It's like, well, yes and no. It's still underneath the covers. We're just a bit more snooty with it. We will hire people just to make sure we've got our numbers up to say we've done we know that they do that for ethnic diversity. I could give you a blatant example of it. On the place that I was working, there was a colleague who put forward that there wasn't enough black people in our office. Generally in the call center environment, not trying to be stereotypical, a lot of Asians are in there, whites are in there, but there wasn't. It would be very hard to find a lot of people of our color, our shades, or our background, should we say, to be a bit more politically correct. Soon as he brought that forward and tried to raise it up, tried to mention it to the person who was in charge of operations at the time, just kept on ignoring it. So in the position he was, he could go above her. So as soon as he went above her, she just lost her shit, basically, right? He lost his job. Turns out that he was in the right, so I can't say anything more onto it. But either way, he got his reparations for that treatment. Then all of a sudden, they're hiring. So there's so many different ways that it's being treated on two different sides of the field. But perception, once again, isn't what matters. It's what environment you are to be you're brought up into. Is my kind of takeaway. My kind of takeaway to all of this. And it's simply just because you could still be from, wasn't it that American football or baseball star that was pro police, and he got shot and killed by a police officer. So even sometimes the areas that you go to and you move to, the reality of the situation is you're still going to be perceived in a certain specific manner, in a way. But that's pretty much my major takeaway from it. Is it fair? No, it's not fair. But right now, what can we do? That's the ultimate question.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I just felt like it was important to put out that that my point of view on that a little bit, because I just felt like personally, I felt like that you had this one kid whose father was was in sports already, professional sports. So he already laid the groundwork for his son to excel. And then you have another story where you have a father, people don't know too much about his story, but you can imagine he tried to do the best he can to provide the best he can do for his son. And what unfortunately events, he's no longer here. His son is no longer here. And so you have one dad that's getting ready to see his son play in a second Super Bowl. And then you have another father who's going to constantly grieve because he buried his son. Because, the mindset is that the child should bury their child before the parent bury their child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I can't relate to that, but I can empathize that feeling as being a parent, losing your child to anything, but to lose your child like that,
it's savage. And also, but the thing is, I was going to just, sorry to cut, is just one of the biggest things that I've heard from over there is it doesn't matter where you are on a status level, you have to still have that. If you're black, you still have to have that talk with your kid. You have to have that talk with your kid. And how this.
No, go ahead, finish.
No, go stats. It's cool. That's all I wanted to picture.
No, I think what you just said was very much true, and it's like no matter, over here, I feel that, as far as a male, a black male over here, you have to have that talk no matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you have, no matter where you're raised, no matter who you're around, you always have to have that talk, because once you're outside, in the world, and people look at you, they're going to see one thing. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that one thing is kind of plagiarized by what we see on television, and what was constantly drilled into our to our mindsets. You know what I'm saying? So, to even with me, when I'm walking down the block, I still get people that look at me a certain way, or you get people that will greet you in a certain way. So, and this is something that is baffling to me, but I know why it happens. I can go into an office with a suit on, you know what I'm saying, and greet someone, and watch someone greet someone else, shake their hand, how you doing? So as they see me, it's like, what's up, man? What's up, bro? And it's like, automatically it's like, you got to slap him 5. And I'm like, why is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a deep, it's a deep topic. You know what I'm saying? But basically, a lot of it is upbringing. You know what I mean? And we were talking about that. A lot of it is upbringing, because when we're kids, we don't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? We're going to greet everybody the same way. You know what I'm saying? And it's not until you see certain things in your program, that's how this is how you start to operate. It's just like fear. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, you have no sense of fear. You don't know what that is. But until you do something and they're like, no, don't do that. And it's like, oh, okay, So my thing is, when does it get to the point where it's like, I'm not going to shout it out, but when does it get to the point where it's like, be scared of that man? You know what I'm saying? Like fear that man right there. You know what I'm saying? Where's that turning point? You know what I'm saying? So because that turning point came somewhere, because I'm looking at it a lot today. You know what I'm saying? And it's got to the turning point where you can be a kid that's doing what you got to do with your life, in the second Super Bowl, you know what I mean, celebrating everything. Or you could be a kid that has lost your life. You know what I'm saying? But at the same day, these are still kids. You know what I'm saying? They're still kids. And either way, you know what I mean, a kid that should be 26 should be here celebrating his 26th birthday. You know what I'm saying? Watching another 26-year-old play the second time with the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes hand in hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And until we see that, we're not really seeing anything. You know what I'm saying? We're not really. So.
Yeah, man. And just the one thing is, the most frustrating thing about it is like when you heard the news of what happened to Trayvon, you know, the media tried to bash him as this gangster kid, and he deserved that he got, and try to make the guy George Zimmerman this sympathetic character that he had no choice. It was my life or his life, and at the end of the day, he was still a kid.
But look, I mean, that's propaganda. Propaganda hasn't changed since, especially on your side, from the days of being quote unquote free. You're still being hunted. You know, there's that whole aspect of it. The fact that they bag us so much in the sense of being animals, which is beyond me, because I'm sure the actions that they're putting onto people is more animalistic than the actions of which we're doing, and obviously being forced into. But then propaganda just works in that magical way. And also the police union, that's also another big enemy. You know, that every time you're hearing in a sense of what happens with a police officer, like there was that 9-year-old girl that was having a psychological breakdown, and then she gets maced by the police. Once again, like, what was the police doing there in a sense when they needed psychological help? So say, for instance, the difference here in the UK is, if you're going through those kinds of things, they're not, unless you're going to be a harm to others, there's no need to send the police down to you. They will most likely send an ambulance, or they'll advise you to go to hospital and to A&E, where they've got people to actually look after your well-being. But it's more different for us as well, because we have the NHS, where our national insurance pays into our healthcare. Me as a diabetic, thinking of living over in the States, as much as dreams of grandeur when I was younger, it wouldn't have worked, because if I didn't have a job and health insurance, I would just die a very slow and painful death, because I wouldn't be able to afford my medication. And that affects everybody, not just people of color. But then it does tie into so much other stuff. Like you said, it's a very deep topic. So a topic without going off on a tangent. But the propaganda behind everything is always to advertise what they believe is right. And you're right, it goes back down to education. If it was taught rather than just, slavery, and so woe is you, and you're going to retaliate because this is what all our ancestors have put you through. They always skip past all of the thousands and thousands and thousands of years where we've been on this planet. Like, they're more happy to say Egyptians and Black Egyptians didn't build the pyramids. So let me get that right. Or Comatians, if being politically correct again, compared to saying they'll rather believe that aliens do. Anything else aliens, that's crazy. No, you saw aliens. No, but aliens built the pyramid. And that just goes to show the vastity. And now it's worse because we have social media. But once again, it's how news travels, and it's how people click together. We are humans. We are made to be group and social beings. So if you feel the one that's outside of the group, then you're always going to be seen as an outcast. You're going to be, you're sympathizing with them. It's like, well, there's reasons too, but I have seen no actions to say that this person is going to do X, Y, and Z until action is done. But this is the whole thing. To be honest with you, I just think I would like to. My whole theory behind it is, I just think those people who think that way are just mass paranoid people who are just ticking down on some imaginary time bomb that they're just going to have it all taken away. They're like, oh yeah, well, our ancestors discovered this land, quote unquote. So first of all, your ancestor was Spanish, right? So let's get that straight. And he was working both sides of the fence. He was working for Spain and Portugal, as well as working for the Queen as well of England. So that's where the direct lines go across. So let's get that straight. First of all, your actual ancestors who came over were Europeans. So to say that you're a pure-blooded American makes no sense at all. No sense at all. So if you're talking about those, and the reason why they left is because they were either bandits, they were running away from the law, or they didn't agree with the way things were being done over here. And then that's where they decided to go cause mass genocide. So 1 + 1 = where we are kind of now today. And yeah, that's why when people start, aren't you proud to be British? And I'll take the knack for this. Aren't you proud to be British? What nationality? I said, no, bro, I'm a child of the world. And my bloodline even says that's standard verbatim, being as mixed as I am. But the reality of the situation is, yes, I was born here, but my body doesn't do well here in winter. I don't get treated the same. I can't, you walk down the street, you're not seeing people who readily look like you, act like you, and are chilled. That's why when I go back to the to the Caribbean, like Trinidad or Grenada, I feel so much more at home. It's like you're not being looked at. Do you know what it's like to have a police officer with a gun come up to you and just say, "Morning, how are you? How's your day today?"
That's rare.
And you're like, and it's the same way they say, if you want to act stupidly, then you're gonna get treated stupidly. But yeah, sorry to go on a bit of a rant there, but that's my whole way of looking at the whole situation. It's just messed up.
You know, you just gave a sermon, man. That's church. I felt like putting money in the plate. Where the plate at, brother?
My Cash App is.
He only takes the money that he only takes the money that if it's shingles, he's not gonna take it. If it makes noise, he's not gonna take it.
No. Every penny counts, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you get 1 million pennies, you still made quite a lot of money.
True.
Hell yeah. You made a lot of money. But now you're right though, man. I mean, with everything going on, man, you know what I mean? It is what it is out here, man. And you know, if people looked at it the way, you know, the way you look at things, you know, everything's, you know, kind of be simplified. You know, but simplifying things out here is not really I guess a topic. You know, everything has to be like loopholes and you got to do this first, and you got to. I mean, some things are just simple, man. If you don't want, you know, it's just like respect. You know what I mean? If you want to get it, you got to get it. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? And if people like really went by that, you know, a lot of things would be all right. You know what I'm saying? But you know, sadly, it's not that simple. You know, sadly it is. But you know, I mean, like I said, it is Super Bowl Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And we got two teams playing. I don't know. I mean, does anybody have a favorite? Does anybody have anybody who thinks on?
I don't care. I'll probably watch Netflix. I'll probably catch a little bit of it and then go back to Netflix.
I don't even know the first thing about it, but who's playing it? But who's playing?
Well, it's Kansas City Chiefs and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But see, like the way I think about it, I think there's going to be some cheating involved, and you know the whole Tom Brady thing, right?
If there's no cheating if you don't get caught.
He already got caught.
So, but hold on, is it still cheating when you get caught later as well? I need to understand how that works. Like,
you remember the whole football thing? It was a whole thing with a football. It was deflated or something like that, so you could throw it better in the Super Bowl.
But what happened was it was a snitch. You know what happened with snitches, right?
Yeah. So we gonna see what happens now because it's a.
Like, you know, they trying to go for the second win.
Your audio. We can't hear you.
We just lost your audio, dog.
We lost your audio.
I don't know if y'all heard that.
Nah.
Yeah, no, we gonna
see what happens, man.
I'm the referee. I'm the booth. We're gonna rewind it.
Yeah, we'll go back. So you're saying about Brady?
There you go.
Yeah, I mean Tom Brady, man. I mean, this guy's like he's a veteran, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and the whole scandal thing with the football before happened. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see what happens now. I mean, I don't know. I got Tampa Bay, man. And on top of that, I think this is the first time ever the Super Bowl is played in the same place where the team is from.
Yes.
So it's being played in Tampa Bay, and that's where they're from. Already they're giving it to you, like. So we gonna see, man. We gonna see.
Well, to be honest with you, they did the last thing you guys ever want, especially over there, because I've seen how your NHL, even the NHL, all of your fans, probably minus baseball, I think is probably the only sport there isn't a mass amount of violence that pursues after a team loses. I've seen.
Baseball's worse. If you ever see a Yankees versus Red Sox game, no.
Yeah, well, so you're saying like, so they overturning cars no matter what sport and team that loses?
No. Yeah, we're Americans are ruthless like that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and then they call you animals. Yeah, you're the ones to be threatened. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. When's the last time you heard any brother get together and say, yeah, we're gonna overturn cars just for the sake of doing it.
No.
Unless you're trying to take the wheels or get underneath the engine. I mean, it's a given. It's just a tough world in certain areas. But no, I'm sorry, bro. Like, that's crazy.
And just to protect that comment that you just said, that is a part of an Olympic event.
What Olympic event? How to? I'm not even gonna comment on that one, man. I'm gonna leave you to that.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see who wins. Basically, you have the up and coming GOAT against the GOAT already, and so that's the backstory of it, you know, and so that's what it's all about. So let's see what happens. But well, let's talk about propaganda, right? I think the ultimate propaganda is Valentine's Day. What are your thoughts on Valentine's Day?
Are you mad? How is Valentine's Day the ultimate propaganda? Like, look, okay, I'm gonna upset everyone here. I'm gonna straight up everyone here. Christmas, pagan holiday, then painted to be, you know, Christy, but then yet there's a big man who goes down your chimney in a red suit and has a reindeer whose nose is consistently red. No wonder you gotta go through them long nights. That's still with that on one side, hence why Carnival is my Christmas. Make sure to check out the merch, highcreativity.net. Second of all, yes, I'll definitely say Valentine's Day is one of them. Halloween is another one, because from what I remember, the original case of where Halloween came from was it was wearing clothes from your ancestors to respect the dead. There's that side of stuff, and now it's full of candy and wearing masks and playing trick or treat and egging houses and TPing and, you know, sex and slutty, dressing up slutty to get away with it, and then still potentially you might get in trouble for commenting on a slutty outfit, but we'll leave that in that frame. And St. Patrick's Day for you guys, I don't know. St. Paddy's is a bit kind of yes or no, because here it's a bit different, but in truth, I think it's just an excuse for the Irish to drink. So I'll give them that. I'll leave St. Paddy's Day. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. There's a lot of propaganda. But if you want to talk about Valentine's Day, by all means, let's go.
Talk about Valentine's Day. Yeah. Yes. What are your overall feelings? Because me, again, Valentine's Day is more for the woman than the guy, because now it forces men to come out of that comfort zone that they feel like they need to do something. Because if they don't do something, then, you know, they're this horrible person that, oh, you didn't give your significant other flowers or candies, then you don't love her really. And it's not the case. You do it when you want to do it. It shouldn't be a day that forces you to do it. You should just do it because you want to do it. But, you know, what are your feelings?
I feel that if you're in a secure enough, you know, relationship, and, you know, everything is on the up and up, then that really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And on of course, you know, to me it is a woman's day. You know what I'm saying? Like, to show appreciation, but you can show appreciation any day. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a person that, you know, shows appreciation and, you know, does things like, if you just get a card or some chocolate, hey, happy Valentine's Day, baby. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a big deal. Then you have some people that just be like, yo, I got to go all out. You know, you got to do all this, you know, craziness, and, you know, have a trail of roses from down the block to the doorstep, and going up. I mean, you don't got to do all that shit, man. I mean, it's not called for that. And, you know, and for the most part, I'm gonna flip it right now. For the most part, a lot of people that do stuff like that are doing it out of a guilty conscience any goddamn.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it. That's definitely a good way of looking at it.
You know, the day after Valentine's Day is Side Chick Day.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
Isn't that supposed to be the day before or day after?
You get your stuff on this day.
No. Some people do it the day before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would do it the day before. Yeah.
You know,
there's a method to
that, but yeah, but you know that's a lot of work. You know what I mean? So I that's a lot of money being spent. So I haven't get into that. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own on that one. You know what I mean? But I think, you know, I mean, I think it's up to the person, you know, when you really get down to it. If you want to do what you want to do on it, go ahead. But you know, as far as me, you know what I'm saying, I feel that, you know, if you secure on your stuff, then it really doesn't matter. And, you know, if you want to do something, you want to. If you want to have fun, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? But
I'll give my from someone being single, so there's not much I can say because I've been single for a while now, so I'll openly put that out there. But I'd say from being in it, it's kind of a catch-22. So I'm going to be slightly a bit devil's advocate here, because if you're working on, if you're both of you working all the time and you very rare and you have kids, you got a family, or you don't have that chance to always spend a quote unquote romantic evening, in some ways it's a nice pull to say, okay, well, at least for this day of the year, we can actually have a nice and enjoyable romantic evening with each other. If that was never your thing in the first place, then definitely don't do that. But it's just, I think it's a nice way to put on the calendar. We get to do something for us, maybe get a babysitter or spend that time, or like you said, get the rose candles out, because you might want that little special thing she only does for your birthdays or Christmases on that particular day. So I hear that 100%. The downside to it is that it's funny that restaurants and all these other places hike up their prices, similar to like New Year's and things of that nature during this period of time. So everything goes up. Loads of things go to waste. And we're talking about the environment as well. Then think about all the cards get thrown away, all the balloons, all the wrapping, all of these things. And we're supposed to be looking after Mother Nature, especially now. So there's a complete other narrative to it. But exactly like you're saying, it's propaganda. It literally is just a massive media blowout to say, and as Stats correctly mentioned, you shouldn't be dedicated to one day to show and express your unconditional love for your partner. It should be just all year round. Because let's be honest, I mean, Stats, you've got your missus, your kids. I'm sure there's not always going to be highs or lows. It's going to, and if to anyone who's listening, there's always going to be that kind of ups and downs. But the fact that you push through it, understand, or maybe talk and communicate, or as some certain men or comedians especially say, or even some women say, is just know when to shut up, kind of thing. So don't hold me to that. I'm just quoting things here, quotation marks. Don't shoot from my head. But that's kind of a funny aspect to it. Is you're together, you're working through things. You found a partner, someone who you enjoy spending time with. So to put all that pressure on someone to do so is very unfair. And last keynote to it is, I think it's just, like you said, it's for the ladies, but it's just a competition for the ladies, really. Yeah. So it's like almost like you'll find that you got those friends who are in your ear saying, well, you bought me this, or you got me that, and I got this, and I got given this, and I got given that. And then now it becomes a very competitive pool by grading how much your man does for you or gets for you on Valentine's Day. Then all of a sudden you're now on a tally chart on a board. So you hear little things like, your man ain't nothing, your man ain't this, your man ain't that, he didn't get you this, he didn't get you that ring that you want. It's like, no, because I was saving up for the ring for your birthday, or for for Christmas. I can't. Why put yourself in debt for this particular day? Because you want to have the airs that you're okay. And sorry, just one last one. And to all you sour, nasty, selfish women who literally look to find a man just for that time to have that one treat, and you don't. And once again, I'm not trying. Don't take this in the wrong way, but you're not putting out even like a kiss, a peck on the cheek, or even a hug. I'm not going as far as that. You don't deserve your vagina. I'm saying this. Vagina is a very powerful thing, and you are misusing it. Great power comes great responsibility. Or I could say, with great pun comes great responsibility.
Now I feel bad. I don't feel bad. I love that you're speaking your truth, bro. But yeah, you're not gonna get a Valentine's for a long time.
I know I'm not. I don't care. I already done said I ain't about the day.
Look. It's something else I got to put out there too for the fellas, man. Fellas. All right, you got a lot of dudes out here that don't really have their stuff together. You know what I'm saying? They kind of struggling out here. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of stuff going on. So what you dudes is out here struggling, man, do not go out here and spend your every last dollar on Valentine's Day, man. Stop it. Stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're going out here spending all your goddamn money, and the next thing you know, you can't even eat the next week before because you're trying to make somebody else happy. You know what I'm saying? And to the person that's with you, that's letting you do that, you need to leave them alone, because they're not really giving you the G in life. They're not really telling you, baby, listen. You know what I mean? Forgive Valentine's Day this year. We gonna be getting ourselves together. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do what we gotta do. So shout out to all the women that's doing that. And to all you dudes that's doing that nonsense, stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? I just had to let that out there, man. Because, you're right, it's propaganda. And there's a lot of commercials out here. You know what I'm saying? And you can scroll through Instagram right now and see all kinds of special sales. Get it quick. Get it quick. It's 10 hours left. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I won't
be surprised if you start seeing commercials with dudes getting a stimulus check, spending their whole stimulus check for Valentine's Day.
That is not what the check is for, fellas. I am telling you, if anything, this might be a time to invest. Maybe look into starting your own business. I don't know. Try something. Try even get Amazon stock. I don't know. I don't care. Just figure that out, man. Real talk. And also just a little, I think I'm not sure if this is right, but you know the heart shape that we all use to this day. Apparently, that's not, obviously we know the heart doesn't really look like that. I think that would be funny, is giving your girl a card with a real life drawn heart on it and say, here you go, happy Valentine's Day. That's how that works. I'm just telling you, that's what it really looks like. But basically the heart's supposed to be the shape of an upside bottom. So I'm just saying, guys, it's ass.
I'm keeping it 100, baby. That's crazy.
But also, real talk, we talk about propaganda. I think it's time. I don't know if you guys are down with it, but start to promote this propaganda machine, because back in the a couple of years ago, this radio show in Cleveland came up with this concept of Steak and BJ Day, which is March 13th, which is like a man's version of Valentine's Day. I'm just saying.
I heard about that.
What do you guys
at the same time? Are you having it at the same time, or is it one before the other?
So what do you?
This one is like a month after.
It's a month.
Like a month after.
It's a month after Valentine's Day. It's the man's Valentine's Day. What do y'all think about implementing like a propaganda machine for Steak and BJ Day? And you know, it could do different things. I know there's some people that's vegetarian, so
right. So I'm gonna exactly that. So first of all, I want to say to all our listening fans out here, we are not condoning this. We understand male toxicity. We don't want to get no banned. We don't want to have no one like canceling us. We ain't trying to say that it was not our idea. This is just funny kind of talk about how propaganda is easily spun. Just saying that, right? Okay.
But look, I say this though.
It's fair, isn't it fair?
I say this though.
Brag about guys, about what their guy got them for Valentine's Day.
Well,
but the guys,
I'm just saying.
I'm not commenting on this.
The guys don't really get no love, man. Like the guy, Father's Day don't get no love, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
true.
Any holiday directed to the fellas. You know, it's not really celebrated like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, ain't no Father's Day commercials. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so you know, I kind of was, you know, I like the holidays for men. I heard, and it's crazy that you bring that up, because I just heard about that a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So this
I'll be missing out. How many years?
This tell you how much the man holidays are celebrated. You know what I'm saying? Like I just heard about that. And I'm like, yo, I ain't never heard about this. You know what I'm saying? And then like when was this holiday even invented? That's what I want to know. Like, when did they even come around?
I'm just saying we live in a country where we invent stuff all the time. You know, we do like donut day, you know, hamburger day, national
all kind of days.
Right.
All kind of days.
Like you guys come up with a holiday or a day for anything just for the sake of doing it. Like, so everyone wants to have a day that they can claim on their own. But to get a bit deeper in the sense of what you're saying about the men don't get no love. This is where I kind of, you know, all jokes aside, we take a step back to it, because let's be really honest. It wasn't until, you know, even when MLK was pushing for women to actually be able to vote as well as themselves to be vote, it wasn't until that time You know, we're talking like it hasn't even been a century yet, and they've had the means to even put their vote into certain things, even to get to certain jobs, even to get like even the pay issue is still continuously going on to this actual specific day. So I guess maybe in some ways it's the guy's way of exerting dominance and also making the woman feel pretty in such a sense. And now I'm not going all feminist mode in it, but technically you could go, because feminists should actually be fighting back, saying, you know, we don't want Valentine's Day, we don't want to be treated like, because we feel like we can be equal in a sense. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say this, I mean specifically to be equal. Men know what they're good at. Women know what they're good at, without going into the intricacies of it all. That's how a lot of relationships work, is what you bring into it from both sides. So take that as you will. But the reality of the situation is the reason why a lot of men aren't getting that love is because they've always been seen as being on top, the breadwinners, the keepers, all of these things. Like, that's the reason why there's so much more advertisement to the women's side of things, because we're still being wired, and once again, propaganda machine, told that this is what we must do. This is what you must do. If you're going to be a man, then you must do X, Y, Z, Z, you know, ultra. But then in the case of a woman, you're supposed to receive and be thankful and make sure the dinner's cooked and, you know, the kids are looked after, if that's your kind of role. But now now the world's opened up a lot more. We're not as generations who are younger are now more in front of computer games than they are playing sports in a lot of cases and situations. So the narrative is drastically changing. And that's why I think you're right, where there are people who, from generations where fathers weren't around, from generations where, you know, and I mean, in a sense, they might have left, or they've just always working. By the time dad comes home, the kids are asleep, kind of situation. But now these are starting to change hands. That's why we're now a lot more men, and, you know, like you said, even with the joke of it, like Steak and BJ, when do we get our days? Because now we're able to play on almost the same playing field. So that's me just once again playing devil's advocate with it, and once again making sure listeners don't come for our heads and stuff. And you sensitive people, yes, I'm calling you sensitive. Yeah. That's the way that I kind of perceive the whole thing.
I agree with you on that point, because it like, we're gonna go deep into it right now, is that women don't need men anymore. They're making their own bread. They're doing their own thing. You know, having a man is no longer a necessity. A lot of women look at having a man nowadays as a luxury. All right, I got my own stuff. You know, you can come along, whatever. We can make it work, or you could just be that dude on the side. I don't care. And so now men is trying to define what it is to be a man now in this current environment. You know, because back in those days, men, the perception of men was the breadwinner, the hunter, the provider. That's what we do. But that no longer exists, but it's not out there as much as it used to be. And so now men has to decide, like, where do we fit in this world?
It's true. I mean, right now, even statistically, I believe there are I think there's a lot more women in high paying jobs than there are, in a sense, of men, which I think is absolutely great. But I do have my own personal views on this. I'm not sure if it's probably the best platform to ultimately express onto it, but I think this is where the tipping scale is going to become, once again, very vast. If you look back into history, there's women have always, and I mean beyond the history that we know, if you really go back into it, women are really high in society. Queens ain't no jokes, and they, in most cases, they're running the show. I mean, look, there's nations that have gone to war over women, like a woman, just for that whole sheer purpose of it. So they're the creators. They are nurturers. They're the ones who bring our children into this world. And sorry to anyone who can't, but the reality is that's where that whole ethos comes around from. So I'd say, if anything, it's the problem that I foresee is, it's like with one, it's almost going like this too much. It's going to take a while before it kind of starts to balance out once again. And with that, we're going to have a lot of what we're seeing right now, where women are like, well, I don't want kids now, and I'm going to be successful, or I'm going to try and have children later on in life. And there's so many different narratives, not just that one, of course, but there's so much more that's tied into it. And that's going to become with its own issues, where now we as men, it's always been the case of a woman will select you, but you know, where you could kind of pursue or kind of woo a woman. Now you've got things like OnlyFans. Now you got things like Tinder. Now you got all of these dating apps where they literally, it's all on a visual basis. And I feel kind of, I was talking with my cousin the other day, shout out to Doc Holiday. And I was saying to him, it's like right now, one of the key questions, especially me being in a dating game, is I actually have to ask a woman, do you have an OnlyFans, or did you have an OnlyFans? That has to be now part of your conversation. Some people are happy with it, some people are easy, but then I could get in trouble for that because they're like, oh, well, it's me expressing my sexuality. What? I say, well, okay, I'm not going to get into the true intricates, but I'm like, okay, but certain people aren't going to be comfortable that however many hundreds of thousands, and millions of people can still access your pumpun easily. And also just a quick fact check. So it was for your question there, it was conceived in 2002.
Okay.
For Steak and Blowjob Day, and it was by DJ Tom Birdsey on WFNX radio. So just to make sure that people know that, for if you feel like you've missed out on your Steak and BJ days, you have now what? So 19 years to catch up on.
So fellas, you got a couple of weeks. Get on it. You don't have to.
I wanted to comment on you know, as far as, you know, talking about, you know, as far as, you know, men and women, and, you know, and as far as all that, you know, plays out. I think that nowadays that there is a lost placement as far as the way things are going. You know, it's, people feel like I don't need a man, or, you know, men feel like, you know, I don't need no woman right now. I'm gonna do this and that. I mean, and at the end of the day, you know, yeah, there were a lot of kings and queens that did run, you know, a lot of countries, and a lot of wars that was won by, you know, queens and things of that nature. But I feel that, you know, unison is one thing, and I think that the unison part is where everybody is kind of leaving out. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you can have the strongest man ready to conquer everything, but then at the end of the day, that woman is going to give him the wisdom to move swiftly to it all. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that people are forgetting. You know what I mean? And yeah, you can do things on your own. People are doing it. You know what I'm saying? But they're taking advice from somebody. It may not be a husband, but it might be your accountant or somebody. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be a different judgment that's going to come across. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't sit here and be like, you know, I'm just going to let, you know, straight men just run the country. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not going to say, I'm just going to let straight women run the country. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take advice and judgment and you know, and sit down and break things down and analyze with one another. You know, at the end of the day. Now, if people could just do that in relationships, right, things would be a whole lot better. And, you know, for me personally, I look at a lot of relationships as corporations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say you want it like a straight business. You know what I'm saying? But when you enter that with that, I guess that mentality of, listen, you know, we're in this to build something else. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we're going to do it. And then you take suggestions. Well, maybe, you know, we should do it this way and that way. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. You know what I'm saying? When you start communicating and getting certain things across, you know, you never know what can happen. But like, you know, like we talking about, propaganda has a lot of the communication cut short. So people are just jumping to conclusions. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like I said, you may see me and think, oh, I already know what this dude is about. You know what I'm saying? And then you may see a woman and be like, oh, I already know what she about. And then like you said, you're right. You got to ask certain questions now. You know, like with social media and all these new things, you got to ask, did you ever have an OnlyFans page where you pop locking and dropping it? You know what I'm saying? All over this. You might have some shit I never even heard about before. You might been on some site I never even knew. You never know, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and the way people are going now, but they're designing it this way. You know what I'm saying? And that's the design. So people don't forget, man. You can't do things on your all like on your own. You know what I'm saying? You got to come together some type of way with somebody. You know what I mean? And don't think that you're gonna all come together with just one type of person, because it's not gonna work like that. You know what I mean? You can't run a team by yourself. You can't. There's no way it's gonna work. I don't care if it's virtual. I don't care if it's online. I don't care where it is. You cannot have a team by yourself. you will fail. Okay, how many OnlyFans pages you open up? Whatever, it's not gonna work.
True. And we start divide and conquer, isn't it? Again, so it's easier to keep us. Easier to keep people dumb and glued to their phones, and trying to have a really in-depth conversation with 140 characters on platforms like Twitter. So that's the world that we're into. Or I can describe how I'm feeling today in a meme. So we've really have lost the essence of communication. That's why people like ourselves are now very few and far in between. And that goes down to attention spans and such, because it's like having a back and forth conversation is so hard these days, because already certain people have put their political agendas in place and how they feel. But the question is how did you come to these conclusions? Is it because you and the people that you follow and the social circle you may have, they all must agree on this one thing, otherwise you're once again an outcast? So it's playing the field, and that's where things like you said, propaganda and all of these different narratives to make it easy. And that's where marketing comes in, and this is where news comes in. It's like, look, the way I've always put it is they like to keep us off balance, because if you're ever settled, and like Stats was just saying, if you're ever unified, you're settled, you're like, yo, actually we like this settlement, we like how things are going. I'm not saying you haven't got people going out places and getting new information and learning new things, but you're bringing it back to the collective where you can actually have conversations about it, and someone can actually turn around and say to you, that's absolutely insane, what are you thinking of doing? But now that's here and especially now COVID has increased once again. But going back to, we really are giving them free advertising. You better pay us OnlyFans, regardless of how we talk about you. But it is true though. They're now the fact is, you've got Twitch streamers. So these are e-girls who are playing computer games, and they're literally only doing it to feed people across to their OnlyFans account. There was a thing that someone was telling me, my cousin again, is that there was these guys. It's like a video. The guy's just playing Call of Duty, doing their usual things, playing with their friends, a couple female gamers. And then the girl turned around and said, oh, yeah, but why don't you come and join me on the OnlyFans? He said, like, why the F am I going to join your OnlyFans? We're here to play COD. Like, come out the game if that's what you're about. But this is it. They try to plug you from wherever you go. Like, real talk. Like, it's absolutely insane. But I get that's your hustle. But I guess maybe things are changing a lot quicker than we all anticipated. And why I was explaining it to the other day was, you got to think that the people who are going to be hiring these girls have been watching these girls, regardless if they're like 50, my age coming up, and once jobs or however it all lines up, and their OnlyFans ain't working for them anymore, or they're fed up with that kind of life. Then when they're sitting across the desk and someone's hiring them, there's either going to be two ways. They're going to be like, oh yeah, well, no, we don't want to have someone like you representing our company because of what you've done in the past. Or otherwise, you're going to have a whole bunch of people like, yeah, come join us, man. Come join us, man. I can't wait to have you. All like, yeah, can't wait to have you. Welcome to the company. And that's for men and women, because it is a two-way. And trust me, there is a field for both. But this is what we're looking at going forward. I get that we have to go and change with the times. What I find that's very disturbing is we're not in control of how the times are changing and what choices and options that were made. We are given the illusion of choice, but the reality behind it is we're not. We sign, as you mentioned before, terms and conditions or sign contracts, and these pieces of paper are supposed to determine what's done with your life. How insane is that? Go try talk. Go on a road, like you were just saying earlier. Go find that big brawly, just broad back gorilla. And go tell him, yeah, I want you to sign this piece of paper, and from now on, you have to do what I say. Give me all your information and whatever it is. How is that gonna work? You're gonna get lifted, and that's I mean, literally punch, not otherwise lifted. That'd be worst case scenario. But all I'm saying is it doesn't ever work like that. Go speak to a psychopath, one who's known for killing people. Try that same stuff, and where do we kind of end up? And this is what I guess I'm just speaking on it. Do I have solutions? Well, I have ideas. I'm not saying it's a fixer all for everything, but it does tie in nicely to exactly what Stats was saying. We need to start unifying and actually start being more open and expressing of our feelings, especially during and after this pandemic, because we're going to all lose our crap after this. I guarantee there's going to be a whole bunch of girls in therapy all talking about I never meant to OnlyFans. I never meant to. And the real talk, what frustrates me now
the most is I know we're going through changes over time. Is how emojis are nothing but clip art. Like Chaz, and we're from the old school of clip art. So if you go back to Microsoft Word back in the days, you remember the clip art, right?
MS Chat, all of that business, chat rooms. I was all part of that.
Right. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and someone just used nothing but clip? Like, I'm gonna call them clip art. They're not emojis. They're clip art. A conversation with someone via clip art.
Not a whole conversation, but I'll give answers.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too, like about conversations with just nothing but like emojis and clip art shit. I'm like it's just like hieroglyphics. You know what I'm saying?
Are we gonna see that in the future? You know, when they look back in our past and they come across an old iPhone and they're like, "What are these? What are they talking about?" You know, chicken
like,
house,
what's going on?
monkey
like,
face.
Come on, man! Like I think they just dumbed down a whole generation, man.
But it's working. It's working though, and it's not working for obviously us. But it works for them.
It worked.
Well, 100%.
It worked. I mean, I'm glad we still have like some sense of what it was before that. Because if you didn't, like, you got duped, man. You got duped. You don't know what it was before that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to actually do certain things.
I wouldn't be half surprised. I wouldn't be half surprised. Sorry. I'll say I wouldn't be half surprised if the reason why this blows up later on down the line, it might be a year from now, 2 years from now, is because people are like so numbered. They're like, these words they're saying, they make so much sense and communicated so well.
Bro, there's a movie with Bruce Willis in it, right? That I forgot the name of the movie, but going on what you said, Juju, it's a movie about people got so lazy that they just had like these robotic like images of themselves doing everything for them. All they did was sit home in these chairs like this with these shits hooked to their brain and just lay there all day. They didn't have to do anything, bro.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I forgot what Surrogates. It was called Surrogates. With Bruce Willis. Everybody go watch this movie, Surrogates. And then on top of that, it's like, all right, I'm gonna go home and just be a lazy ass for the rest of my life. But you could pick the best looking surrogate of yourself to go out and take care of all your duties. So you could be at home looking like you drink 840s a day. You know what I'm saying? Eat 900 donuts every minute, and then you can have a surrogate. you can have a surrogate out there that look like they do nothing but run track all goddamn day. I'm like, yo, come on, man. But this is coming.
No, it is.
It's coming, man.
It's here. It's called Amazon. Coming. It's called Amazon Echo.
Well, no. That's they'll probably say that was not even a micro dot on this whole thing. But the way I always express it, as we've, I always mention it, what I've mentioned, before, is movies and TV programs are telling us what direction they're trying to force us to go into. Now, I don't see what the benefit is of having a whole bunch of people stuck behind desks and such for their entire life, literally eating, nothing but, like you said, 640s a day, just consuming a whole heap of crap and then having some other thing go and do your stuff for you. Maybe in some ways it will cut down pollution a lot, especially if it's all, these solar paneled and solar powered and cold fusion based robots and things doing our life. But look, I don't know about you, man, but having a world like Blade Runner or what I was watching the other day again on Netflix, Altered Carbon or anything like that, like the actual whole thought process of thinking, or Cyberpunk 2077, if you actually manage to get to play it, because if you don't have next gen, you're not going to get to play it. No, you probably won't. If you haven't got next gen, it doesn't even work. But the thing is this is the narrative that they're kind of heavily pushing towards. The actual aspect of seeing a future where we literally aren't as heavily based consumers is gone out the window. Real talk, it has fully gone out the window. Samsung was trying to, funny enough, the reason why I got my phone was one of the key things I was trying to sell off on it at the beginning is you have a hollow charger. So it will actually, once you put it on its charger, it will show you messages and like a little hologram on the top and the time and all these other little things. I'm like, wow, that's ultra dope. And of course it didn't happen. But at the same time, this is but let's think of it like this. I got this phone literally this time last year, and they've already released the next version of it up 1 year away. And certain people like myself are caught in 2-3 year contracts to pay off these devices. And then obviously you got those who can't afford it. So I'm not questioning anyone's how you get your phones and such, but we have lost full control of what's going on. And this is what's scary, because not many of us are willing to change it. And they're the ones who've got the armies, the governments. I mean, look, right now, UK government says, yeah, none of you lot can go out. If you are, we're going to fine you. But then if you can't pay the fine, we're going to imprison you. So already, and I know it's for the safety of others, do not get me misconstrued any way, shape or form, but it goes to show that at any point they could just say, you know what, lockdown. Guys have to do what we say, or bye, we don't care. And here we are. And it'll still be TikTok probably.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're definitely right, man. That's facts.
Crazy, man. It's bananas, man. But I mean, what can you do? You know, you try to make the best of the times that we living in. You know what I mean? Have, you know, do what you can do. Fun you can have. You know, that's why I'm out here with my little my little snowmobile, man. Having my little fun, man. That's all you could do. You know what I'm saying? You, if not, you would just keep getting the rain of fear going on in your head. You know what I'm saying? And it won't stop. It's not going to let up. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you to let it up yourself, you know? Stop. The fear all day, every day, nonstop, man. You know what I mean? And I listen to I have some mentors. I have a lot of them that I found, but one of them name is Bob Proctor and Jim Rohn. But you know, these two guys have a notion where they create fear is just called you know, fear is something. It's called fear of evidence or something that's not real.
Fear is fear of evidence appearing real.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and like I said, they'll pump these things, but you know, it is what it is, man. False evidence appearing real. That's what
that's it. False evidence appearing real.
Right. So you know what I mean? And, you know, just take it how you see it, man. Take it light, eat healthy, and do what you got to do, man. Don't give the place a reason to give you a surrogate. You know what I'm saying? Like keep yourself as healthy as you can be, because you know, I mean, it's already happened. You know what I'm saying? It's already happening. Now they're telling you literally, stay home, don't come out. I mean, don't come out, and just the benefits alone from just even going outside and breathing fresh air. You don't got to go take a trip, but just going in your front yard and standing in your yard with no shoes on is beneficial. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, don't take
not in the snow, but I think
some people may do that. Apparently, some people will do that because apparently talk about cold showers supposed to jig your brains and wake up your body and stuff. So each to their own kind of thing. But no, I feel you.
I think I polar bear clubs, but that's not my club.
That's for real. I don't mind a snow bunny or two, but no, not the real thing.
Yeah, I'm good.
No polar bear clubs. I'm good, man. But fellas, man, this is a real conversation, man. I can't even believe we're talking over an hour. That's crazy.
That's what we do here at the No Name Podcast. We talk about everything, man. We talk about some real stuff. We talk about some funny stuff. This what makes this eclectic, that we can talk about everything and have an insightful conversation. Because it's crazy, and we can go from Valentine's Day to steak and BJ's to talk about, you know, just the significance and the perception when it comes to men and women, when it comes to just seeing the world as it is, when it comes to propaganda. And then we can start with talking about the Super Bowl, and then talk about the racial dynamic with, you know, you have Trayvon Martin, and then you have Patrick Mahomes II. So this is a type of podcast where we talk about everything, and the most important thing is that we know what we're talking about. It's not like we talk about stuff and we have no clue what we're talking about. We're just talking. We actually know what we're talking about. We have three very educated brothers on here that has a full range when it comes to talking about different issues. And that's what makes us different here on the No Name Podcast.
It's true. And also it's just setting examples of what conversations are supposed to look like. Okay. It don't have to be all clip art, as they call it, or colorful images. Even though, please, you can also download the free high creativity sticker app through my website, which is, you've also got some black representation OEMOs, but then WhatsApp stickers. So don't feel like we're literally chastising you for it. Just saying. But real talk. This is what healthy conversations look like, and actually having opinions and sharing knowledge. So if you have stayed to this point, like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it. We're on a come up. As we've said, you're more than welcome to pitch in. Come join us in a conversation if you feel you have something to say. So if anything I can say is, once again, thanks for locking in. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.